Welcome to another series of New Zealand's premier fly fishing TV show, Pure Fly NZ. To open the series, we're travelling to McKenzie Country in the heart of the South Island, on a quest for some giant rainbow trout. Our two anglers this week are Charles Smith, a specialist in catching big trout and salmon, and Pure Fly regular Anto Hall. These two have teamed up previously on the show when they hit the McKenzie hydro canals in search of big trout. They were hampered by snow and freezing cold conditions, and while they caught a few fish, a true monster eluded them.
It's been hard work tonight. The guides are icing up. We've got to keep breaking the ice off them. So it's good to see one on, that's for sure.
Well-deserved Drix break, because man, it is cold. This will keep me warm. I don't want to sit too still for too long, or my breathable waders will freeze solid. It wouldn't be fair to you to get your monster trout in your first trip, mate.
Nah, well, to be fair, I was pretty happy to get a couple on the board early on. Yeah, I think I'll be back and give it a crack.
For sure.
As luck would have it, Fish and Game New Zealand decided to experiment by opening up the Upper Ohau River on the 1st of September, 8 weeks earlier than traditional high country opening. The boys decided this would be the perfect opportunity to give it another crack. The Upper Ohau River is the main spawning tributary for the hydro canal system, and good numbers of huge rainbows are present from July to September. Before the hydroelectric scheme, the Ohau River sustained a high-quality trout fishery, which was lost when construction of the hydro scheme reduced the flow regime of the river. The new spring season was designed by Fish and Game New Zealand with the intention of re-establishing a valued fishery by allowing large canal origin trout to be caught in the river environment. In doing so, Fish and Game NZ also needed to make sure that this early opening didn't have a seriously negative impact on trout spawning. Their research indicated that protecting 2/3 of the spawning window would be enough to sustain recruitment. Hence, the 1st of September as an opening day was deemed viable, as all brown trout spawning is over and the majority of the rainbow trout spawning happens in July and August. Charles and Anto are going to have a proper crack at it. They've arrived in Twizel the day before opening to scout the river for pods of fish. The forecast is once again against them with heavy snow forecast, but they hope that giving themselves 3 full days on the river, they'll have a good chance of catching a McKenzie behemoth.
It's been windy as today, but we got up here to do a bit of scouting and we've managed to find a few fish that's got us pretty excited for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to get out there. The season's been pretty good, build-up wise through the winter. The fish have been in great condition, so.
The reason we're here nice and early in the season is to make the most of the opportunity of fish that have come up here spawning. There's still a few that are hanging out before they drop out. Most have already dropped out, but from the scouting today, there's definitely a few left, so looking good for tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's sort of like the buzz of tomorrow, to be honest. Having an opening day with fish that haven't been fished to for a while sort of gets the fire going. Right, so even though tomorrow is opening and we've got a lot of hype to it, the weather for the next couple of days is looking pretty bad. Snow, big winds, it's not really the best, and also with low cloud it's going to be hard to spot some fish, so it's going to be, yeah, hard going.
Yeah, and then you add that with could be a lot of other people around. It's not all in our favour.
No, it's going to be real interesting to see how tomorrow goes, but that's part of the excitement. It's the whole package.
Well, as expected overnight we've had snow come in. It was sleeting hardcore this morning as we arrived at the river in the dark, but we're pretty excited. We've managed to get onto the piece of river that we've been wanting to fish because we saw some fish here yesterday, and we've had a bit of a peek just before and they're still here. I've put the pressure on Charles first up, and I've said that he's first on the fly rod. A bit of pressure because they're big fish.
Yeah, but up for the challenge, opening morning, can't wait.
I can only see some straight out from me at the moment.
In front of that rock there, right?
Yep.
One to the right. Oh yeah, no, I can see
There's
some.
3 or 4 nice
Into the left.
looking fish there. Can you see them from where you are?
Yeah, I can see the ones below the big boulder,
It's going to come down to your perspective for a
this one.
second. Yeah, that's the same ones. There's also one just in here.
Yeah.
See, oh, just here, like behind the rock.
I might just go up right into that.
Oh, yeah, and I'll just throw it just on the outside edge of this rock here.
Yeah.
One about 2, yeah, that's it. That should be far enough.
Oh, too far to the left.
Going towards one.
So what I'm trying to do here is just get my eggs to get in front of some of these big fish, but the key is to try and get it down to sink quick enough. I'm not fishing an indicator, so I can see my egg, and I'm just watching the trout.
Oh, look at that giant there.
Yeah, that one just then coming. Yep.
Yes! What's a biggie? Wicked. Wicked. Go with him, mate.
Try and get some of this.
Woohoo! Well, we've got a pretty good fish on here. Charles has done well. Now it's a matter of trying to figure out whether we can land it.
To be honest, I think he was just one of the jacks at the back of the run. So I think maybe, I don't know, my opinion's just 7 or 8 pound, but still a great fish for the area. Oh.
Yes!
Yeah, boy! Epic.
Look at that.
How classic is that?
Well,
amazing.
We haven't been here too long, and weather's not productive to fishing, but we've made the most of our chance here, and Charles has just got himself a beautiful big jack. Exactly what we're sort of looking for. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that was a great buzz. Worth getting up at 4:30 in the morning, walking through the sleet and the trees and the rain.
Oh, just on that magic 10 pound mark, not cracking it hardcore, but just on.
A good way to start the account anyway. We can work our way up from here. So yeah, so this fella here, I was fishing to one. He was one of 10 trout. Nice little wee bit of pocket water that I was fishing to. I wasn't fishing with an indicator, so as I was saying earlier, I was letting my fly come through towards the fish. I could see my fly, I could see the trout, and I was just waiting for a telltale sign of a bit of movement, a bit of a flash of the mouth, and just keeping contact. I was able to feel this guy grab, set the hook, and start the morning. And I put this fella back, he's full of life. Time for me to put my rod down. And then Anto, have a turn. Yeah, I think
there's a couple right there at the back.
If you want splitty, I got heaps of.
I'll try this. I feel like it's going to work. So Charles is just showing me how it's done. Brilliant fish to start the trip. Well, the snow's coming down, there's not too much wind. I've got a few fish just up in front of me here. It's really hard to actually see them with this snow charging in. But I'm just going to wade out a couple of meters, do a few casts and see if I can hook up. So while Charles has just pulled a fish out of this pool, they're actually all potted up at the back of it. So there's a group of them there. And the fish Charles pulled was almost the very back one. So the fish are still pretty much in the same spot as what they were before. So it gives me a good chance that they're just acting as they were.
Good cast.
That's in front of the fish, eh?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So I've just got into quite a big fish. This one's got a bit of go, so I might have to go with it.
You maybe swing it down around. So slippery.
Oh, it's a bit of a dramatic exercise here. We're busting our way down the rapids. But I've just got to keep with it. I hope Charles will get down in front of me. Well, I've managed to get through the rapid. It's quite a big fish. Charles is just there now. And Charles will get it. Go tail on, bro. Yes! That's a ripper. Woo-hoo! Oh, I was a bit worried then. That was right into the rapids, so it's a bit dramatic, but it's quite a nice fish. It's definitely a spawner. It wasn't the biggest one there, that was right at the back. So it's looking like we're going to get another couple of chances here. So I'm wrapped early on. Monkey's completely off our back. Last time I was on an area similar with Charles was actually on a canal rather than here. We had snow, rain, the whole 9 yards, and we struggled to get the fish. But today we're just on the board. Straight in my hook out. Possibly when it's in the net though, rather than on the fish. 14, just over 13 pounds, so good way to start. Well, I'm absolutely wrapped to get this fish on the board. It's number one for the trip, and if it's the only one, I'm stoked. Time to send her home.
Sick.
While conditions are testing, the boys could not have wished for a better start, and with plenty of fish left in the pool, they decide to have a short break to warm up and rest the fish.
It was pretty good call bringing that fly, man. Like, the snow's settling pretty good now, and it's good to have somewhere dry so we can rest for a bit.
Yeah, as I was leaving the truck this morning and it was sleeting and raining and snowing all in one really, I just grabbed the fly up, so we've just set it up. We'll probably give those fish a bit of a rest. They've got a bit disturbed from that last fish I caught, and hopefully they'll move back into the edge and give Charles another go.
Yeah. Have
Up again, bit bigger this time.
I know. Have a coffee and then we'll get back into it. Yeah, so this morning I've got my 6 weight out, running just a simple egg rig on a bit of 10-pound fluorocarbon, just because of the nature of the water we got here. It's pretty rocky and heavy, and just the fact that they're pretty darn big fish, so need something with a bit of give back so we don't get snapped off too easy. And particularly in like the low light conditions, you want something with a bit of vibrancy and a bit of UV in it to pop in the water to induce a strike. Just more of a territorial instinct on some of these pre-spawn trout, I'd say. Yeah, that's the way I'd look at it. Sort of just instinctive, put it right in front of them, they're going to grab it.
Ooh, into it, Charles.
Yeah, man.
Warm me up. Well, the fish have moved back in. I can see a few out here, very similar to the position where they've been before. Not quite as close in, but there's a few there for Charles to throw at. Can you see them out there? Yep.
Yeah.
He's quite a good one by the look of it.
Just fish it over these trout that we can see here. Yeah, the same technique. I'm just, as I said, I can see my fly in the water, keep in control. Just because I'm at such a close distance, I can keep an eye on what I'm doing. It's really, really visual, this kind of fishing.
Into
Like
one.
that.
Not the one I was watching, but a good fish. Well, he's going downstream this time, so it's all on again. No, coming up.
I think it's just another little jack at the tail.
Oh, it's a lot smaller, this
Yeah,
one.
smaller, real feisty little fella. If
Quick
I'm
net.
using that heavier fluorocarbon, I can... Sweet. This whole weather system that we've had is absolutely crazy. Like, days leading up, it's been stinking hot, pretty much remnant of summer conditions. And then opening days hit us with an absolute snowstorm, probably the
Worst day of the year.
first day yet there, yeah. Lucky us.
Oh, it's not so bad when you're catching fish. If we weren't catching fish, this would just be hard times.
Yeah.
Nice one, man.
All right, cheers, bro. Right, yeah, so this little fella here, this little jack, caught him at the tail of the run once again.
Looks like you're clearing out the little guys, man.
Yeah, mate. Just like,
Big ones are still there.
yeah.
So.
It's only a matter of time. Enjoying each fish as they come though, so it's been good. Rightio, mate, your turn on the buffet table.
I reckon that's the one for me there. It
Right.
seems too easy, but you know, we're going to lose one at one point and we're probably going to cry.
Yeah, all right, give it a go, man.
Just a real tiny one.
You can't even see those ones in there, eh? Whoa. Nice little clean resident fish, eh? Oh man.
Bugger. But we might have to mix things up shortly. We'll give it another couple of goes on these egg patterns, and then we might have to go for some big streamers.
Yeah. It's crazy, those small ones, you don't even see them amongst the trout that we are spotting for.
There's the one.
Not as easy as it was an hour ago, eh mate?
Say again?
Not as easy as it was an hour ago.
Nah.
Oh my God, did
you see that giant?
That? Yep, we're in now. Mate.
This looks like quite a big fish. I'm a bit worried here.
If you can maybe try getting him to swing around, man.
It's a sizable fish. I'll take my time a bit. Looks like he's heading upstream away from the heavy water. It's not exactly what we want. It's kind of a catch-22. So it sort of scares the other fish, but then at least it's not into something that we can't manage as easy. There's not a lot I can do here, Charles.
Nah. It plays more to our advantage anyway if you can get him up into that slower water.
So he's wanting to go upstream. I'm quite happy for that.
Yeah.
Downstream with a fish this size could get quite dangerous. I'd say just stand back for a moment, mate. So there's no point rushing. If I can stay with the fish, I should be able to just take my time, try and work around the rocks here.
I might try to get below you, bro.
You run downstream.
Yeah. Pretty big fish, bro.
Yes! Now this is a fish
What a freaking
that I've been
hog,
hoping
man.
for. It's a ripper.
What the hell?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful big fish. Doesn't look like the prettiest thing in the world, but it's huge. Yeah, man.
That is a great jack, bro.
Yeah, boy.
Sick.
21 pounds. It's over the 20 mark, so pretty stoked with that. So Charles was pretty good to me then. He let me get straight back in there after catching the baby and ended up with this ripper. And it just shows these big ones are taking the eggs. He obviously engulfed it pretty good. Managed to keep hold of him down through these rapids and in the net, 21 pounds of solid rainbow. I say, well, he's a big fish and what I'm after over that 20 pound mark. He's certainly not the pretty specimen, nowhere near as nice as the one I got earlier on. Hey, but early in the trip, beggars can't be choosers.
He's really only got to face a mother would truly love, eh? Yeah.
Look at this fish, man. Like, where else in the world could you probably find a fish like this?
Yeah, it's super unique, definitely.
Able to catch it on a 6-weight fly rod.
Yeah.
It's pretty spectacular.
Pretty humbling, all right. Yeah, it's getting pretty cold out here. Sitting around waiting, resting in the fishing area, and while that's happening, we'll sort of cool down a bit. So need to put a brew on and warm up.
Get a bit of caffeine in us, eh? Well, there's still a few fish out there, but usually in a scenario like this, we'd push on, find some new ones. But weather's terrible, so staying under here is pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it keeps us nice and dry, and it's too wet out there at the moment.
Hopefully tomorrow's a bit better, and then yeah, we'll probably cover a bit more country.
Definitely fresh fish. There is a lot of fish here though, so there's really, for now, there's no point really leaving. So
No, we've got a base.
yeah, definitely.
Fish to watch from our base, they're just out there. Shortly we'll go put some more flies over them. Oh, just recharged. I'm back on the net after my good fish. And yeah, there's another good fish there for Charles to have a go at. Anything bigger than mine and we're looking pretty bloody good.
Right there. I've got heaps more in the truck.
Oh, no, you got an indicator tool.
Oh, indicator, yep.
I think for a case now, it's a bit deeper, it's going to be a bit further away. I'm going to need that help and assistance of having that indicator sitting on top just to pick it out, because I might miss the take. And particularly now, the behaviour of the trout later in the day, they might be getting just a bit more stirred up and they might be a bit spooky.
By now, the fish are pretty stirred up, but persistence will bring rewards. And Charles still has a lot of fish in front of him. He just needs to keep putting the fly in the right place, and eventually one of the big fish will grab hold.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a real big one. Woohoo. Well done, Charles. Persistence, mate.
Wasn't too sure how he...
Take your time, that's a big one. Real big fish. Well, we've been working real hard for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes just then, but having a few breaks and haven't had a fish for a good couple of hours now. And just when all hope's getting lost, Charles hooked into a big one, and it's the first one that's really taken us up into the pool. Just take your time, mate.
Yeah.
This is worth taking our time for. This is your fish for the trip, possibly. Look like a beautiful conditioned jack. I'm probably pretty excited. Look at that, just taking him right out. Hope you tied your backing on well.
The drag on the line is actually a big thing I can feel right now.
That's the biggest problem now, is the drag on the line. Awesome, man.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, this is what we were expecting from a big fish. This one looks like it's in real good condition. And I'm picking it around that 20-pound mark. Certainly no less anyway. The
I
pool
have
fish.
no control of this fish right now.
No, that's all good. We'll just take him, walk him like a dog up to the top. Well done, man. That was persistence though, eh?
Yeah, holy hell. I'm about 6 revolutions from my backing.
Just take your time, eh? There's a lot of drag on that line.
That was such a buzzy take as well. I was like, watched him, my egg come past, and I just rolled his head. And
You actually rolled sideways to take it, eh?
yeah, and I was like, did he just...
Keep pushing up if you need, 'cause it's probably safer up further.
Oh, there he is. I can see some colour. Where's the...
Take your time. You ain't going anywhere. That drag's pretty strong. Size of this fish, it reminds me more of a shark than a trout, but
There we go, mate.
it's coming in nicely now.
Holy... Mate.
Take your time.
Oh, my leaders.
Walk backwards.
Yep.
Struggling to fit it in the net, man. This is a stonker.
Nice. That'll do.
Nice one, man.
Oh, man.
Good shit.
Cheers, bro.
Look at this.
Wow, isn't that really deceptive for fishing like not even like 2 foot water?
That fish did not look that big. We knew it was
No.
big, but not that big.
Holy hell.
It's a stunner.
12 kilo?
27.
27. Yeah, so after having a good lunch break and a couple of cups of coffee and having a good rest for about half an hour or so, it's paid massive dividends. The trout that we had stirred up have came back and returned, and yeah, come back to their usual lies. And I was lucky enough to get back in there after maybe 5 minutes of casting over them and scored this guy. Bit of a shock, to be honest. I didn't expect him to be this size, but stoked.
Yeah,
Centimetres, yeah. So. Well, that's gone past it, isn't it? Look,
Oh, it's longer than the bloody...
longer than the handle. Yeah, we're going to let this big boy recuperate, get a bit of life back into him. He's starting to kick back now, and release him back into the depths. See you, mate. Unreal. Unreal.
Good work, man. That's good.
The fish of a lifetime for Charles, and just reward for lots of planning and persistence. At that moment, a Fish and Game officer came to inspect licences and to get details so they could conduct a survey on the angler experiences during the first few days of the early opening.
The idea is I'll ring up, they'll ask you how many hours you fished, how many fish you landed, and then you can speak for like this is your party.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you some other questions like satisfaction, you know, how satisfied were you, how many other anglers did you encounter and how did that impact on the fishing?
Yeah.
Anto tried for a while longer, but by now the fish were on edge, and the boys decided an early finish so they could regroup and get ready for a big day 2. Day 2 dawns bright, clear and windless, the complete opposite of the day before. The crew are on the river at first light and decided to fish another stretch where they had seen a big pot of fish during the scouting session.
So we just arrived for day 2 at the river. Pretty excited because we've actually got the sun out and it's nice and warm. But I'm wondering how we're going to go.
I reckon we're going to get into some massive fish today, mate. I can feel it.
You got the big net? I'm pretty excited. I just hope the fish are still biting like they were.
Having these sunny, clear conditions, I think visually we'll have some pretty exciting fishing now. We'll be able to work our way through the system and pick out a few individual fish.
Get some good sight fishing going on, eh? This run here looks pretty good, so I reckon we get straight into it now.
Sweet.
So while we're up nice and sharp, it's actually made it a wee bit difficult for us because the low light is producing a lot of glare, so relying on Charles to spot one. We know there's a few more there, but we're just targeting one at the moment. Is that far enough?
Nice, and where your indicator is probably another metre to the right, mate, but a good distance.
Yeah, here he comes, just onto my shadow. Yeah, he's a 15-pound fish.
What's the depth like that? It's not like that deep, eh?
No, but it's perfect for where he is now.
Oh, I can see him, yep.
He's shifting around though. He's straight out from me now. They're acting weird, man. And that's not from us. So the one I was wanting to fish at then disappeared.
He pushed right out. But I think that's just that was the behaviour that we seen up in the cliff though, man. They were
Just moving everywhere, eh?
probably the nature of the water as well. It's a big expanse. It's not like yesterday where it's big tight boulders and pockets where the fish didn't want to go too far down. I think this kind of water they're going to mill around for miles, man, because it's so soft. So yeah, this morning, here day 2 on the river, the fish are pretty spooky. They've been fished hard yesterday by people here. So we just got to take our time and work our way upriver, but we've got a bit of a dilemma at the moment with the low sun being so early in the water. Our shadow is sitting upstream above us, so we've just got to really take our time, wait for the sun to lift a bit more.
We've been waiting about 10 minutes. My shadow's almost half the size it was before, about 10 minutes ago. And the water's now starting to open up and you can see the bottom. So it's really going to be a lot more conducive. Probably in about another 5 minutes we'll be able to start fishing.
Big one that you can see, big jack sitting behind a hen.
Yeah. There's actually 4 good fish there.
Yeah, so Anto and I have walked up a couple more metres of the river now that we've got a bit of light. And we've got half a dozen good sized trout lined up on a pretty quiet bit of water. Anto's setting up now and he's going to throw some gear over them and see what happens.
Yep, I am in. So been working a group of fish there. These kind of weird with these fish, they're so big sometimes that when you do hook them, you actually think you got the bottom because they don't move quite the same. And yeah, been struggling a wee bit this morning, but I saw my indicator go down and I did tighten up. It just seemed like the bottom. Then all of a sudden we're on.
Nice work, mate.
Yeah, it's good to get one on the end of the stick, eh? Because he looks like a beautiful big hen almost.
Yeah, man. That Didymo's a big issue, I reckon.
Just lost a fish there, pretty gutted because it's the first one of the day. It was a nice big hen. It wasn't ginormous proportions, probably gave it a wee bit too much pressure upstream. So, not ideal. But yeah, we'll reset and have another go. But I think it's Charles' turn now. I'm going to have a bit of a fly change. I was definitely too heavy then. I keep hitting the bottom, making it real difficult. Yesterday I was a lot faster water and I just couldn't really get the presentation right today. So I'll probably think about what I'm going to move to next. You're up, Charles.
Yeah, the stuff on the shallows is pretty spooky and not really playing ball at the moment, so we know that there's some good number of fish out in the bigger, deeper water. They should be a bit more relaxed and probably could be more inclined to bite, so I'm going to go give them a crack. Right, yeah, so I just fished eggs and a heavy dropper rig through there, no success. I didn't really see much fish activity that made me believe I was in the right place and was presenting the right fly. So I've put on a Dawes Glister and I'm gonna get above them, dead drift it on and just swing it through and hopefully get one of these big boys to bite. Oh!
Fish or bottom? Hard to know.
Oh. No fly. No fly.
Do you reckon that was a fish, man?
Yeah, man. Felt the tug pull back. Unfortunately, it popped, but yeah. You get in here, I'll retie, and I'll spot for you. Good stuff, bro. Go downstream, mate. You got a big belly of Didymo. There's a boat.
Yep. I didn't know what was going on then. The fish stopped fighting. I actually just had a huge clump of Didymo. That was my first cast on the streamer, and we're in. Like Charles said, straight away, just sort of felt positive. It's not a huge fish, but currently it gives us a chance of getting on the board for the day. Real bad glare for me.
If you hold your rod like that and try and get him to swing into.
Yes.
Awesome, man.
Different looking fish. This is quite a nice looking hen. Changing from the nymph or the egg patterns to the stream has just paid off straight away. Charles had one chase it and didn't hook up, then he broke off. It happens particularly when you're doing a lot of casting. And then first cast for me, just following Charles's instructions and bang into a beautiful rainbow. Not the giant donkeys, but all the same, it's a beautiful big fish.
Man, I thought I saw one rolling on its side or something.
Yep.
Oh.
Did that break your fly off?
Yeah. I think my lead is a bit buggered.
Mate, that's 2 deck on. Change that out.
Luck doesn't seem to be on Charles's side today. While he re-rigs, Anto jumps up to have a swing through the pool. There are plenty of fish holding in the middle of the run, and it seems like just a matter of time until one grabs the fly.
Yep. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the last one.
Yeah. Oh, nice fish, man.
But I felt like I was fishing that time.
No, totally.
I hadn't even stripped it, I was just letting it dead drift.
Yeah, and then boom. Nice work, Anto.
Running a lot lighter gear than yesterday after not going so good. Kind of start lightening things up a bit as well. Yes!
Oh,
Yeah, boy, look at this!
mate.
Oh, mate, high five, boy.
Awesome.
Oh, it's been hard work this morning. And caught a nice fish earlier on, and Charles had a couple of break-offs. We were talking about any little thing and can go wrong. And picked up a few tricks even on this trip. I've just put on a huge chunk of lead to get down. Haven't had much luck until I've done that. And it was only 3 or 4 casts then and into this absolute monster of a rainbow trout. I'm pretty stoked. It's beautiful condition. It's a pretty looking fish. I caught a nice one yesterday, but this is huge compared to that. And it's a hell of a lot prettier.
Yeah.
So we just got to swap nets out. Charles bent his one on the
Scoop.
and we're trying to weigh it and it only goes to 30, so we're thinking it's probably over. Mine goes up to 50. We might even switch over. We're catching the big boys now. This has got a bigger hole. No, it's not 30. It's just on that 26 pound mark. We might just get to 27. So
I reckon 27, man. It seems like.
yeah. Or am I standing or something? Nah. Yeah, 27.
Geez, mate, what a struggle it's been today to actually get some fish on deck compared to yesterday.
Yeah, but when you persist and you finally get one on and can land it, this is what you can get,
Yeah.
something truly phenomenal.
Definitely.
Awesome, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely.
How pretty is this thing? This one's a beautiful neck. He's got him in reasonably quick, so he's going to release pretty well. You can already see him breathing up really good. Yeah, wrapped with that, because you're running a bit lighter gear. Look at the girth on it though.
Massive, eh?
So on the back of my big fish, it's time for a brew up. We're all a bit jaded. It's been an early start. And big day yesterday as well. And then we've probably got just enough time in the afternoon to see if we can put another one on the deck.
Resting the fish is a tactic that's worked really well for the team so far. It also gives the anglers time to reflect on the action and to make sure that gear is in perfect working order. Successfully catching trout of this size requires attention to detail and absolute faith in your setup.
So we're charged up after a coffee, got a bit of a buzz on, ready for fishing action again. And typically what I do, particularly on these big fish, is just retire my gear. So I'm actually still using a streamer, which I've been using earlier, but just new tippet, bit of sink it on there, and in this case, bit of lead shot. So I'm just replacing the one I've already had on there. Quite a big chunk of lead. So we're giving this pool a good rest now, and often when you give fish in the pool a good rest, you can get a good opportunity straight off the bat. So I'm expecting to take almost straight away. One splashing just there.
Where you're at the end of your swing, Anto, there's 4. Downstream here.
Like down over there.
Yeah.
Oh, over there, that
Yeah,
black
man.
pod there. Oh, here comes one. Oh, he whacked it.
Yeah, I seen that.
Still there?
Yep. And there's a larger one just in front.
Is he not chasing it anymore?
Nah, that
Either
was
hit
good.
the bottom or he whacked it. I think I might have hit the bottom, but he was chasing really hard. This river's got terrible didymo. There's quite a few active fish, Charles.
There's a lot there, eh?
Yep.
Yep.
Managed just to lock onto a fish. Pretty cool. So as we talked about, just giving the fish a bit of a rest. He's a good fish. He's not a giant by the looks of it, but he's really good. Possibly still 20 pounds.
Good fish, man.
Yeah, it is. It's probably bigger than I realised.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell. We've just sort of lost perspective of what's a good fish today, or particularly from yesterday. So I'll just take my time, make this count. What a change though, man. Like, this is just like blissful. Yesterday I was battling, like I got back to the batch we were staying at last night and felt like I was just wind burnt. Felt like I'd been out for a week. In fact, this fish is a lot bigger if it's the one I can see here than I realised. Like, these fish are getting close to a metre long sometimes, and if they thrash it, that can be 30-40 centimetres of head movement. And so you just got to, we actually fight our fish reasonably, we think, but you notice there's a big bend in these 6 weights, and you have to have that bend just to make sure you've got that shock absorber in there. Solid drag on the reels. If they want to go, you've got to let them go. You can't pansy around. There's still rocks and stuff in this stuff, and some of these fish, they're a variety of condition, but yeah, you've got to keep the herd on them and just be prepared to follow them, go around the rocks. Oh, this is way bigger than I realised. Is that 1 fish or 2 fish? That's one fish.
1 fish, yeah.
How? Yep, I'm letting go. Yes. Oh, I feel relieved.
Look at the length of it.
This thing's just enormously long. It's in the big net, so it doesn't look as big as it really is.
Mate.
So this is all sort of played out to plan. We were feeling a bit lethargic, so had a coffee, rested the pool and the fish, and as I was staying to camera, just given that rest period, quite often you'll get a fish straight off the bat, and this paid dividends. Nice big fish. Yeah, can't ask for more. Probably the longest fish of the trip so far. An absolute monster.
It's definitely been Anto's day, cleaning up with 2 giant rainbows in a row. As the sun fades, the boys are hoping there's enough time for 1 more fish for Charles to round out an incredible trip.
Well, we've all just, Anto and I both just had a coffee break, and Anto's just gotten back into the pool after resting it for a while, and he's just secured a real great fish, a real long, big jack. So now it's my turn to get in there and see what I can pull out. Yep. Man, it's only taken like so many casts. Yeah, mate. Well, that was pretty heartbreaking. I've been fishing this bit of water pretty hard for the last half an hour, fishing through some great fish, occasionally feeling them, bumping them, getting some follows. And to finally get a hook up, get a few good head shakes and a bit of a tug, and then for it to come off, it's pretty hard to take right now, but that's fishing. I've got to keep persevering, and sooner or later I'll get another one to the bank. Yep.
Oh, he's in.
I'm on.
Yeah, boy.
Man, that has taken a while. I've been bouncing the bottom so many casts.
Well done, man.
Yeah,
How big do you reckon? Looks pretty solid.
yeah, not.
Oh, look how clear it's getting now. Go with him.
Right in the corner of the mouth as well. I'm trying to hold it up. Hi!
Yeah, boy. Beautiful
Sick.
one. Nice.
How good is that? Oh man,
Work, mate.
that was hard work.
He's well hooked.
Epic. Great colours on him, eh?
Yeah. Well, this fish is going to be the finale to our trip. It's been a game of two halves with some terrible conditions yesterday, but still got the fish. Today's beautiful and sunny, and again, we still got the fish, but it's actually come down to a lot of planning and preparation. Charles has been out scouting a wee bit. Even last week he was checking things out. So once we found the fish, it was just a matter of persisting, and this is the result of it. Beautiful big fish.
It's been a pretty great trip. Our first opening here, and it's been pretty special, to be honest. Yeah, amazing fishing.
We'd like to take the time to thank Fishing Game NZ for having the foresight and adaptability to trial the spring opening. Hopefully it becomes part of Kiwi tradition and adds another layer of quality to one of the world's greatest trout fisheries. When you're fishing in what is widely considered to be the best fly fishery in the world, you'd be mad to compromise on quality, which is why Pure Fly NZ has chosen to partner with these great companies. You can rely on their products to deliver the goods for you on your next adventure.